Well, without further ado, it is my job to get the next panel started. First up, it's time for me to invite our session moderator, somebody who's got over a decade of experience in real estate consulting to leading real estate brands across India, specially focused on helping realtors focus on efficiency and drive better ROI. We're talking about somebody who's helped more than 280 plus project launches, none other than the co-founder and CEO of Insomniacs, Govind Rai. Let's give Govind a warm, warm round of applause. Thank you so much, Govind, for joining us. Next up, we're talking about somebody who's got a proven track record as a mentor and a leader, real estate enthusiast, and an advocate for design-driven residential enhancement. We're talking his wealth of experience, which encompasses several esteemed real estate firms and has over 2 decades of remarkable experience, the CSMO of Ashwin Sheth Group, Bhavik Bhandari. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, let's be more lenient with our applause. We've got such great leadership joining us. Thank you so much, Bhavik. Next up, our leader has forayed in the realty business in 2016 and completely reinvented and rebuilt the company from the ground up to be sustainable. Well, Notandas Realty, under his visionary leadership, has made remarkable strides in the real estate industry. We're talking about the managing director of that company, Jagwani. Thank you, Harsh, for joining us today. Next up, a marketing professional renowned with a focus on brand strategy, advertising, digital media, and innovation. Somebody who's passionate about user experience, technology, and data. We're talking about the general manager marketing of Oberoi Realty, Meet Merchant. Thank you so much, Meet, for joining us today. Our next leader is at the helm of managing the expansive Lagoon project portfolio for Champion Infratech. With a wealth of experience in real estate operations, he excels in aligning customer demand with real estate projects both in India and Dubai. We're talking about the VP operations of Champion Infratech and MD 1 in Million projects, Mohammed, Minhaj. Thank you, Mohammed, for joining us today. Next up, our leader, who's got an engineering degree in computer science, MSc in advanced computer science, and an IT management from esteemed universities of Manchester, who's got a zest in bridging technology and services for end consumer. We're talking about the co-founder and CEO of EstateMint, Mudra, Wedhikar. Let's give her a warm, warm round of applause. Well, with that, we've got our able moderator, Govind, to take it forward. Over to you.
Plus team for putting up yet another stellar event for all of us. And I'm very glad that we are starting in almost in time. It's not too much of a delayed event today. So guys, largely we start this kind of sessions by understanding what's happening, how are we selling real estate today. But my format today, I wanted to do a little bit of a different thing. I wanted the first 5 minutes to be leveraged to discuss what are the future predictions that you have. Things that are working today may not work 5 years on the line. If I have to ask you this question, what attributes or the functions of the real estate sales and marketing that are existing today you believe 5 years on the line, we may not have to deal with them at all? And specifically for the sales and marketing functions. So, Mudra, you being the only lady on the panel, I would want to start with you first.
Thank you, Govind. So, a lot of things today are driven by consumer, for the consumer. And like Govind correctly said, a few things are doing well right now. Saying, for example, you could have telecalling as a vertical, which is completely human-based today. I think further down the line, it will be completely AI-driven, and people need the human interaction, but they will not know whether a human is talking to them or a machine is talking to them. We've had a lot of experiments in this field of work right now. In fact, a lot of players today have also introduced a lot of AI-generated machines, and people love that. So it's going to be very difficult for consumers to know towards the end whether they are talking to a human person or not, but that touch is very important, because I think it's such a big product and a big ticket size to buy that without that intervention, people don't feel the warmth of buying any product till now.
Superb. That's a great start. And we already have one insight. The call center functions are getting eradicated. Mohammed, Minhaj, what about you?
Hi, Govind. Hello, everybody. So very rightly said, it's not only about AIs and the digital marketing that is taking to the next level. As I come from a real estate platform, we had a traditional business of building those high-rise, whether it may be commercials or apartments or building layouts. It was bricks and walls and hardly good interiors, doing and making good clubhouses were the end of luxury, isn't it? Now, even real estate needs something new and extra. And as you could observe the world standards in real estate, already you can observe a conceptual projects of lagoons, king of amenities so-called. It's already existing in 60 countries, more than 1,000 projects done and ongoing. Dubai is the nearest place where you can experience this lovely amenity. So me and my partner, Mr. Subhakar Raoji, were into this since 8 years of complete R&D, as it is a water-based concept, and made sure this is going to hit the Indian market soon. After a long 3 years arbitration in Dubai with this fabulous American-based company, we finally brought this to India last year. We announced this in front of 1,000 Indian developers at Credai Nightcon, Abu Dhabi, Yas Island. This year, we are up with 2 projects. That's in Bengaluru, 100 acres with own property and 500 acres joint development. Now, imagine giving a beach to the place where people couldn't find that highest of those amenities. In fact, if you count on ancillary activities, what I mean to say is, imagine giving all this lagoon side. It elevates the value, doubles the value almost. So even though we have a mandate to the whole country, except Gujarat and Rajasthan, we are up to join hand in hand with those top tier 1 builders in that every tier 1 city for this conceptual projects called Crystal Lagoons with 100 smart cities, 100 smart lagoon cities to specify, giving this fabulous king of amenities to the country.
Superb. So the second prediction is, guys, that you do not need to find a natural terrain. He will end up creating one, and those are the future plays. That the townships of the future and the developments of the future may not have to have its own natural beauty. It could be leveraged by some technology as well. So lovely. And Meet, what about you?
Good afternoon, everyone. So Govind, the question that you asked, which roles will get obsolete in the next few years? I think obsolete might be a wrong way to put it. The roles might get repurposed to do something else than what they are doing right now. Say, for example, copywriters. There is that entire play of generative AI and chat GPT and everything coming into fore. There's a lot of opportunity that gets created where you can create content at scale now. With that, content which is unique, but you need someone who really understands the importance of content, which currently is the copywriter, will then become the copy moderator, and will then create an entire brand building exercise for the company from a content point of view. Similarly, and it's not new, you know, digital marketing has seen automation for years, banking has seen automation for years, and what has ended up happening is that the overall pie of business has grown because of automation, and there have been more opportunities that have come up rather than roles becoming obsolete.
Superb. And that's a prediction number 3, guys, that the creative agencies on the work of today is going to take a new shape altogether. That was a great insight, Meet. Moving on to you, Harsh. What about you?
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I think technology is moving so fast currently, right, Meet, that the only thing that will become obsolete over time is misinformation. So giving a 5-year timeline being like AI will work, ChatGPT, things like that, I'm sure that will happen, but maybe in 2 years some breakthrough technology comes through and we don't know what direction it will take basically, right? So the idea is always in marketing, reach out to the right audience, give the right information. So the more technology advances, we don't know what platform we'll use, what content we'll put out, but that'll be the eventual goal for all companies basically.
That will make the developer's task easy or it will be becoming tougher? That is something that we'll discover into the conversation. Bhavik, what about you?
Good afternoon, guys. I think, first of all, we are in a very exciting phase when it comes to real estate sector. I think next 5 years, with a lot of interaction that we do with Google or with industry leaders, what we have realized is we are going to be in the golden run, which means whenever an industry sees a golden run, a lot of things, practices change. When you say things will become obsolete, I think there would be a lot of consolidation that will happen. When I say consolidation, every single touch point that today a customer is interfacing with a brand, all those will change with use of technology. Today, a lot of developers like us, when we look at different platforms, whether it is SAP, SFDC, whether it is Intel, whether it is CRM or cloud computing, or for our example, even registration data and consumer insights. I think all these platforms will be in one particular platform for developers to manage a consumer expectation, right from planning a location to buy, to what product to design, what kind of pricing to command, and how to look at convincing him through digital technology to buy our product. And from their stage till possession and then post-possession, I think that's going to change completely. I think what I agree with what Meet said is that you won't find them being obsolete. They will start behaving in different form and different avatars. And that's going to be an exciting journey. It will be a learning curve. I think next 5 years will take us ahead of a lot of sectors, which used to keep saying, real estate always takes a little slow to catch up to technology. And that's an interesting take that I have.
So, Bhavik, I must tell you that it's a very important point that you have touched upon. One of the important part that every developer today is struggling with or discussing, those who are trying to scale, is the series of touch points and technologies that they are actually dealing with. And the consolidation on one console, on one interface, is one future even I would love to see and back it fully. So that was the first part that I wanted to start upon. And thanks a lot. I believe it's a good 5 insights that we all got from you. Now comes to the present. Right? We talked about the future, but mal to aaj bechna hai, right? And we have to do the marketing and selling today. So let's discuss that. And all 5 of you are representing something very different. One of the important part that I could see into the panel today, that you all are representing different stakeholder touch points. And my question to you rightly is, based on your current portfolio that you're handling at your firms, what are the insights that you'd want to share with our audience in terms of what's working and what's not working anymore for you? So when I say what's not working anymore, that would mean in the past it did work, but it's not working anymore. And something new has propped up, which is where you're focusing as well. So could you give the insight here? And on this one, Bhavik, I'd love to start with you itself.
So good, we are in present now. There are few things that are changed really significantly, and that has helped us. Specifically, when we look at digital, initially the concept was simple. You be on social media, put festive post, thank you, award-winning post. That was part of social. The second thing was performance. So the developer used to never think specifically from a perspective that, we should spend on branding. So it was kitna kharch kiya, kitna lead aayi, kitna dhanda hua. Right? I'm sitting next to a promoter, right? So I know how it works from a mindset. I think digital has evolved significantly. from understanding consumer at different touch points, how intelligent you can campaign, get him convinced about your product in the noise that is happening currently. Previously, what used to happen is the offline medium was used a lot, and digital was a support platform. What we have seen change and what we are doing now is that we are making digital as the front engine. Offline is supporting it from a platform perspective, from an idea. So for example, we are working on a food fest. The idea is offline, but it will have 80% maximum mileage through online platform. Second, something that really worked for us in sales and what we have done is that one to many, normally brands do CP meets, spend lavishly 30, 40 lakhs in a CP meet, call the CPs here. Channel partners were very important for us. And then we end up seeing that they come that day, they just get half an hour to understand the product and they go back. And we think that because such a high turnout is there, business will happen. What technology has helped us, instead of doing that, what we have created is that we have created e-versions. At your convenience, the content has already been seeded. You could actually learn, understand about the product, the insights like who is this consumer, from where is he coming, what age group he is, what is his demographics, what is his psychographics, how we can communicate to them, what are the avenues. So we give them a lot of insights that enable him to actually start looking from a business perspective. Third, at CRM, it's very important because customers normally feel in real estate that once you buy, till that time you are treated as king. Once post the sale is done, he's not even bothered to inform and all. So in our case, what we have done, we have integrated the CRM with Salesforce computing model. And every single customer, once the booking is done, is been then transferred to the CRM team. And through entire analytics of AI in our system, we can then know this is the date of his birthday, automatically a communication goes to him. If his daughter is in 10th, we will know that it's a time for him to upgrade. So he will get a communication saying that, sir, the family is going larger. I think it's a time for you to upgrade. If he's got promoted and he has updated on his LinkedIn, we'll come to know and then we will say, I think time has come for you to upgrade because your status and all has moved up. So that's really working. I think our more localization in digital is working really well. And we have now used technology in offline. So for example, an ad, you give a full page ad in Bombay, it's costing 1 crore in Times of India. And then when you give an ad, it just statically just talks about your elevation and your amenities. With the use of metaverse, you basically just scan the ad and you could see the walkthrough of the project. You could just showcase the virtual treatment of the 5 top USPs of the ad. And that has actually worked because there's a lot of engagement that has improved. So that's what is actually working for us, Govind.
Brilliant. I guess you poured in quite a bit of insight here. And I would love to touch upon a few points at a later stage. I'll be moving on to you, Harsh, for now on the same topic. What's working for you and what's not?
In terms of technology or just generally?
In general, like in terms of sales and marketing landscape, everything that we are doing, the traditional, the current digital landscapes, all the technology you want to touch upon.
So I think for us, all our products are placed on a very, very high-end spectrum, right? It's all luxury. So we don't put out that much information by ourselves outside, like in terms of specifications, sizes. We do a lot of branding activities that people come into our offices, understand what we're building. So probably we've been very lucky that our conversion rate is probably about 40% for people who come in and do site visits, which is very, very high. So for all the people here, Oberoi, and for you all as well, you have a rough number that, so many people have inquired, we probably get a 1% conversion, or you just reach out to so many people. We try to be as restricted to reach out to people how much ever we can.
But is it because the reach out is limited? That's the reason less number of people and the higher conversion rate? Or
yeah, so we are very, very specific to where we want to reach out. That also comes from a little bit of the jewelry legacy. Our jewelry company is also placed in the ultra luxury space, right? So a lot of people who can't afford it, who won't be there, we do branding activity that they know that there's this brand, they develop these kind of developments, or they sell this kind of jewelry across the board. But if we don't want to give so much product information to people who are not our potential clients. If they're going to be a potential client in the next 5 years, they'll still be on our list. But if they're going to be a client in the next 15 years, they're just starting off their career, they probably won't be on our reach out list currently.
So how are you making your reach out so narrow-casted currently?
So we have demographic in terms of course, since we work in high-end micro markets, within that hyper-local micro market as well. We do use a lot of AI again, and a lot of research in terms of income brackets, things like that, to actually narrow down the search how much ever we can. So whatever you spend on marketing is on the buck.
Superb, yeah, that's something great. And the 40% conversion rate is like, I'm already getting jealous, and already everybody else is. Meet, over to you. What's your insight?
So I think, Govind, what has happened over the past few years, and this I think was a phenomenon that we saw during COVID and has continued now post-COVID. We are very well past that post-COVID phase as well. We are business as usual. But what happened then was, since people were not at the same place, a lot of data unification happened, a lot of digitization of processes happened, and what that resulted in is a lot of streamlining of process. So a customer journey earlier for a lot of real estate companies was very disjointed. Some ended at a lead level, and there was some other system which took over, which took care of the customer till the walk-in, and then the booking, and then the post-booking experience. What has happened right now is a lot of companies have realized that unification of data and unification of employee data, merging it all together, has a lot of value. And there are a lot of technologies available to enable all of that. And the companies have realized the importance of it then. Since everyone was home, the spends by default in marketing went to digital. The beauty of digital is you can attribute every spend. Now, that you want to attribute it to branding or you want to attribute it to a lead gen and a booking is up to you. How you look at it, what is the communication that you're doing, and your objective that you want to achieve out of it. But it is trackable. Hence, even in the roles that we were discussing earlier, I feel what is happening right now is that discussion of whether this person is an offline marketing person or a digital marketing person is sort of fading and should fade even further in the near future. There will be marketeers for projects, and they will look at an overall ecosystem of marketing because of this consolidation.
Superb. Meet, I will have one more question added to you in terms of what's working, because everybody that I have talked to, they all know and they are jealous of one phenomena that Uber Realty gets, is the kind of referral and the loyalty program that you guys run and the selling that happens under that funnel, right? What is it that you're doing, that you guys are doing, which is different than what everybody else is doing? Any anecdotes there?
So, we don't have a referral program. In spite of that...
Is that the insight?
Yeah, that's what. In spite of that, there's a lot of direct business that gets generated because of referrals and rebookings. And I think a lot of attribution of that goes to the way the product planning happens. It's more to do with the quality of the product. It's more to do with the experience that the customer gets once the customer starts living in an Oberoi property. And the gantry of people as such, Oberoi has always been in the premium segment. And a lot of premium business is driven through referrals. Let's move past referrals as well. The overall chunk of business that we are generating today, directly, where say from marketing, be it digital or offline, or the referral business, the combined pie is much, much higher in terms of percentage than most of the real estate players in the company. And I wouldn't want marketing to take any credit for that. A lot of it goes to the product in itself.
Okay, so I believe the way Bhavik said that, the customer is the king till the time he's not booked. I believe you are still making them king after they have booked, and that definitely is one of the places where the interaction that I've had with the Oberoi customers, this is one part that definitely stands out. Thanks a ton, Meet. Moving on to Mohammed Minhaj, what is your insight in terms of the current landscape, what's working and what's not?
Well, if you talk about present, till today's date, as my field is real estate, I would definitely want to put some light on this. So it was all about building homes and commercials, and ultimately we do all this for sales, right? Sales and marketing plays a vital role here to achieve our targets. So we ended up paying a lot of, sorry, not to be offended, channel partners. We used to pay them a lot of commissions till starts from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 maybe, depending हमारी मजबूरी के ऊपर depend होता था वो. So on that note, that is where I started thinking on there should be some concept where we can break this barrier and yet improve together, including channel partners, I mean. So that is when, that was the scenario till present. Well, today things are changing. If you count on world level, I think India is Bharat definitely taking, looking up for a very bright future in every prospect, especially real estate. As for example, if you take China, we say they are 10 years ahead of us. You take America, we say they are 15 years ahead of us. But I think it's an advantage for us wherein, you know, the count on those 18 mistakes what they did, the Chinese, and those 20 mistakes what Americans did. We are not going to do that. So that is where we are stepping very careful, and under the leadership of Modi ji, definitely after these G20s, we are definitely seeing a dramatic change and a next level of business scaled up for every that segment that we are up for. So working hard is one part, paying off is another. So in future, India is a center of attraction to the whole world. So that is where lagoons are taking very major steps, seeing that future of like what I mentioned about my 500 acres project in Bengaluru. So it's a township with beautiful ancillary activities around the lagoons. Imagine the whole villa project with its own clusters, and in the heart of the project you find a lagoon with an island with those 1 acre mansion plots, but yet giving on a very reasonable price. So it is for that upper middle class who can say, before coming to that, to understand this more better. For example, if you take the values to the nearest of the lagoons projects in Dubai, Tilal Al Ghaf is the 7th project in this decade which they have come up, and the home starts 3.5 million to 100 million, can you imagine? And the buyers, the surprising factor is now, 30% above buyers are Indians. So we Indians definitely have a potential of buying such kind of homes. But yet, those expats who cannot afford this are above 90%, who again has to come back to their mother country one fine day. Now when they know what exactly the lagoons are, and they cannot afford that, but coming back to India, they are getting it. So this is the future that is thriving through at times, and we are up for it. Hope we will get a lot of partners coming hand in hand, working with us, and we very strongly believe working as a group.
Superb. Mudra, I will come to you now, and since you have been consulting and taking mandates of many developers, your insights would be a little different. And I'm looking at something that has not been spoken so far. Is there anything that you'd love to talk about?
So we underestimate how much social media influences us today. And all of us at a different buying capacity are influenced by a lot of different people, a lot of different influencers. And this is all going on the back of our mind. And we don't really realize it when we are consuming a lot of content today, whether through Meta, whether through Instagram, whether through any other social media platform. All the buying currently happens because you're influenced by something largely. So for example, if there is an influencer which is a celebrity from Bollywood, for example, so the product that is represented by the celebrity creates a desire for you to look at the content and consume the content. I've realized this working with a lot of developers. We have a product range, you know, probably starting at a 40 lakh rupees going to a 3 CR property in Pune. And a lot of different people are influenced by a lot of different people. And when you do such marketing campaigns and you see the results through all the data that has been churned over time, you will see fantastic results. As marketers here who are already there, they could also tell that people behave differently at different campaigns. And this data that we have generated, or this data that we generate through various projects working with various different clients, give us phenomenal results and give us lot of different results, which gives us a hands-on experience of thinking what should be done next and who should be the next person to influence the buyer. So I would like to give a really small example. So there is a product which is a LIG product in Pune. And while designing the product was designed in a way where it was made in a Greek architecture. Now, giving this kind of a product at a really low-end ticket size, when you're calling it MIG, people don't expect that product to be good-looking. But they are obviously going to be aspirational about buying a nicer product. Everybody wants to buy a Oberoi here, and everybody wants to buy a Notandas here. But it's not possible for that kind of consumer. But how can you aspirationally influence that consumer to consume that product is completely depends on the marketer, or it completely depends on the person that you're getting to influence them to.
Superb. So, Mudra, from where you left, I'm going to start from there, which is, you talked about aspiration, you talked about influencing, you talked about the ecosystem with regards to these influencers. My next part of the question are going to be based about storytelling. And let me ask, between Mudra, Meet, and Bhavik, you, are the influencer really influencing, or they're just creating awareness? And that is my curiosity. That second question linked here is, if I am a marketer, I need value for money as well at times. So Bhavik definitely has moved to a space where he said that कि यार खर्चा branding में भी करना है, awareness is fine. But I deal with a lot of developers जिनको मालूम है कि performance marketing ही करनी है, leads चाहिए, कुछ भी हो जाए, right? So is there any possibility where you're able to attribute that, okay, this influencer-led activity led to this much sales? Will there be a future? Because in e-commerce, that happens. The whole affiliate marketing operates in this particular phenomena. The video that you make, the number of sales that happen, you get revenue out of that basis. Will there be a possibility of that sort in real estate ever? So, Meet, I'll start with you, then Bhavik, and then Mudra on this one.
Sure. So, I think the real estate fraternity is quite large. And the channel partners also, I would consider as a part of the real estate fraternity.
Absolutely.
I think more than the real estate developers per se, the channel partners are leveraging this idea of being influencers. A lot of them themselves are trying to be influencers and trying to sell real estate. And it's working really well for them.
But what about the developers?
For developers, I think more than with an intent to sell, the role of an influencer will be more to create that awareness and aspiration in the mind of a person. So like you were saying, no one will expect a product like that to be of that quality and to be of that architecture. So I think there's a lot of role of the influencer that comes in to make the person aware, and they have their own set of reach. At the end of the day, if you look at the overall digital marketing spectrum, all of them are really walled gardens. So Facebook has their own set of database which really sits there. Google has its own set of database which really sits there. You can't exchange that data, or it's really difficult to leverage one's data on another platform. And the in-market audience, I might be going a little technical right now, but the kind of segmentation that you have available right now is becoming more and more generic, and it is the intent of Google and Facebook to make, it is an intentional call of theirs to make it more generic because they want you to spend more. But these influencers have a niche, and they have certain set of people following them. I might choose to follow an X person, he might choose to follow an Y person, because I I resonate with that personality, he might resonate with some other personality. So the influencer, if you can categorize the influencer well and you understand what influencer, what category that influencer falls in, you'll understand the category of followers he has. And if that's the right set of followers he or she has, that's where attribution comes in play.
Brilliant. Bhavik, do you have a different viewpoint, or you would just align with what Meet
No,
said?
I think there's a lot of scope. How I see influencers is basically, if you see in offline, in all other FMCG categories, use celebrities. Yeah, they are influencing. In real estate also, influencers play that role. In the longer run, I think it will have a significant impact because sale doesn't happen by just selling. Sale happens because of multiple reasons. You present at the right location, your brand name, your product, ticket size, because in Bombay at least, ticket size define the location. Most importantly, the influencer is basically trying to give you an edge as compared to any other developer in the same micro market, because he's going to talk about from a third party perspective. It's always considered in the consumer's mind that when a brand is talking, is going to only talk good about him. While an influencer is going to take him through a journey, one. Second, give a third party endorsement. Third, most importantly, the influencer, if today selection of influencer plays a significant role. Rightly said by Meet, you know that everyone wants to run business and Google, Facebook will constantly give you new and new ways to keep doing it. But I think if you see few trends, you will realize that it is important. World's second largest search engine is YouTube. 90% of the population of India consumes videos in shorts. People like to watch videos is because they believe that it's having a far more impact than just reading and looking at stuff. So builders are identifying this. It has dual role. One, it does help them in branding. Imagine if I take Sachin Tendulkar as an influencer for an ultra luxury project where he's only talking to 10, 50 people who can actually, because the tower only has 10 units and he's talking to a unique UP. And while doing that, he's not selling. He's basically trying to say a profile like me, who is an icon, can justify staying in an icon project. And it may not lead today's sale because an ultra HNI would not look at that and immediately call. But it builds on in his mind when you do it over a period of time. It starts building your brand and starts slotting into a luxury segment. It starts creating, because this conversation I will do with my friend, he will come to know through others, and then finally one fine day, you will realize your brand has been slotted in a luxury segment. A class example like Oberoi, their spends is not like top in the country, number one. Rightly said by me, there's no loyalty program, right? The reason why a consumer is buying, and he kept referring and buying himself, because he feels it's a product of quality. Yeah, so if influencer is able to connect with the right purpose, and if it's been selected properly, I think influencer has a great role in real estate.
So what I can summarize here is that as a marketer, we got to have our eye on the short term, mid term, and the long term. And the long term is where these things, and mid term, these things are attributing. In short term, we are looking at, then they may not be the best value chain, and that may not be the right way to look at it as well when you're selling real estate.
Just to create buzz, I think they can add significantly.
Fair, on the awareness front. Sure. So Mudra, now I'm going to ask a very straight, brutal question to you, right? Which is, they told about their part. I'm going to ask you, do you go to a developer and you say, let's sign this celebrity, and because of that, I'm going to show you an uptick of this much on your top line. 100 crore और बेच देंगे because celebrity आएगा. Will you be able to do that? Will you be able to attribute the expense towards selling?
So let me tell you why we take that route first instead of taking that route essentially. You ideally have to find the positioning of the product. So both Meet and both of you were saying that the same thing again and again, that the right fit or the right niche, like he clearly said that I'm attracted to a right niche, or I'm attracted to a right person or somebody who influences me, is essentially the positioning of the product in the market. And if I find somebody to associate who is in the right sync, then I think the desire that is created in the mind of the consumer is obviously going to be high. So the right fit obviously does wonders, and we've seen that happen over a period of time. We've recently signed up for a luxury project. Now in Pune, obviously luxury ticket sizes are slightly different than Bombay. But the desire obviously again is the same. And we've recently signed up, I don't want to take the person's name, but we are seeing great numbers because of signing the Bollywood celebrity up. Just in a short span of time, creating that awareness has become very easy. There was one very important thing which you spoke about, branding. Now, I would like to touch upon, if there are brands, now there are a lot of brands sitting here like Sheth and Notandas and Oberoi, which are really big brands, right? If there is a developer who wants to cut through the clutter very quickly, this route helps very, very fast, because if the influencer or if the celebrity is a bigger value than the brand itself, it uptakes the brand very, very easily.
I give you that, absolutely. And there's no doubt, you put an elevation, put a celebrity face beside it, put an elevation without a celebrity face beside it, what we calculate as a CTR, which is click-through ratio, 100 में से कितने लोग click करने वाले हैं, and I know the difference. That definitely will move towards what you just spoke. So glad, and you touched upon something in the luxury, and you sounded apprehensive कि पूरे में तो यही luxury है, and that is the topic that I'm gonna come to. And Harsh, I'm moving to you first. Please solve this problem for me. I have a location called Khar, Bandra. There's a client who has called me day before, who said, I have a 5 crore home, and it's a luxury home, go and sell it. Then I got a call from another client in Khar. He said, I have a 15 crore home, it's luxury home, go and sell it. And then I got a call for a 50 crore home in Khar, go and sell it. And this is again luxury product. So all these three are luxury products. How do I differentiate? How do I take it to the market? Why everything is luxury? And when at your brand you're trying to put out, how you're trying to differentiate this? And in your storytelling, how are you able to put out the USP? And are you using the same word luxury as well? Because I'm getting confused now, as a lot of customers are getting as well, that everything is luxury. A 30 lakh home in Virar is also luxury from their point of view.
So yeah, again, we do only luxury apartments, right? And to solve your problem in the same micro market, from Santa Cruz to Bandra, we do luxury apartments at 7 crores and at 70 crores as well. So again, that's your problem, right? The idea is that compared within that market, your next competitive product, where is it priced at, and how is it, what are the specifications for that product? I think that's where the differentiation between luxury and premium and budget comes into. The major, I think companies don't pay that much attention. Your sales staff, or who's dealing with the customer, should know how the building has been spec'd. That's where the storytelling part comes in. They must know examples, sit with the engineering team, understand what elevators are used, what windows are used, what marble are you using, where everything is coming from in terms of import. So I've seen this in one of my meetings, actually. I was watching it candidly. My salesperson was like, go ask the other developer. I mean, that's how they do sales meetings. They're like, the other guy's selling it for so cheaper. Why aren't you all selling it at that price point? And he was like, this is our list. We are putting this elevators, we're putting Technogem, we're putting this, etc., etc. Just ask them, is it a luxury project or not? What is in their project in comparison to this? And then if that's luxury, then what are we? We're out of the world then, I'm guessing, right?
So I am using luxury products in a Virar market. Will it qualify, like market बिक रहा है 1 करोड़ का, मैं बहुत luxury product डाल रहा हूँ, उसको 2.5 करोड़ में 2 करोड़ में बेचता हूँ.
I believe if it's a 1,000 square foot unit and a 1,000 square foot unit, and you're selling it at maybe 1.5 crore, and the other person selling it at 1 crore, and you're speccing it, not misguiding the client, being like it's luxury, and when he walks into the house, he's like, whatever I come into, the next door building was the same developer, सस्ते में महंगे में बेच दिया मेरे को पहले, then I believe you are luxury.
Okay, Bhavik, do you have the same viewpoint here on this one?
Yeah, I would, but slightly little more. One, for example, you said to same location, Virar, let's take an example. There is Virar where you have 3,000 square feet apartment, which is actually a luxury, because the micro market requirement as per the statistics is basically 1 and 2 BHK, which are smarter ones, compact and that. Now when someone is taking 3,000, he in Virar would be who's who. And hence he is trying to showcase that even if I stay in Virar, I am in cream crowd. Yeah, that's one way of looking at how this is done. Second, as rightly said by him, is that when you have a product and if you have a genuine backstory, which is basically saying, you know, that how you see how the best example to compare analogy is the automobile sector. 5 lakh rupee car talks about ABS, torque, engine, cabin space, boot space, steering, automatic, airbag and all that. 10 years before, customer used to not even think about airbags and used to buy. But today he says, no, Baba, 5 lakh ki gaadi, I need an airbag. For a 5 lakh rupee, you have competition killer which talks about this is Honda, this is Auto, this is Maruti, this is Tata. You have, you don't have, oh, you should go and ask. A real estate minimum ticket here with 2 and 5 and if it's 7 and 50 crores, the consumer is extremely evolved. His taste is extremely refined. He's a global Indian. He likes to showcase house has his calling card. If you see historically in India or globally, wherever in ancient time also, palaces were for kings. And now with Mr. Mukesh Ambani also having Antila to prove the world, you know that he's the richest guy. Homes have been filler of emotional and financial decisions. So if you are able to, in luxury, the least and scarcity and exclusivity is there, then it is actually luxury. Otherwise, luxury is the most abused word used in real estate by every one of us, and we are to be blamed. Rightly said that for a 30 lakh also it's luxury. So if you are able to create that story to him is that this product is only for you, and I'm not talking to an X, Y, Z, I'm talking to only A, is because this product belongs to a profile whose lifestyle, aspirations and standard of living is A. Then when the product talks to you, you go and buy. That happens in super luxury category. So that's how I see how luxury and super luxury is sold.
Superb. I have a lot many conflicting questions, but we'll be falling short of time. Mohammed, Minhaj, I'm going to come to you now. And you would add to this if you want to, but I have one more peculiar question. Since you have got this technology of Crystal Lagoon, which you talked about at length, my question to you is, does this become an anchor or a moat for the story around your brand and your product that you want to create? Because one of the things that we have learned, I believe everybody here, during marketing, you got to have one anchor communication which makes you different than others. I believe with your product, you already have one. My question to you is, how are you going to build this? Is this enough? Is there going to be secondary layer to it? Because when you said 100 acre in South Bangalore, why would a customer really come there just because of this? It could be, it will never be a primary home phenomena. What will be the second trigger for me to be a secondary home phenomena? How have you packaged it in your mind to create the story around it?
Yeah, Govind. Lagoons definitely is a luxury amenity. And it has again been segregated in concepts. If you, for example, the project that we are doing now that we have announced is home away home concept. It's a distance property from center Bengaluru. It's a 1-hour drive. So there, yet giving this exceptional amenity, the prices are very reasonable. Like unlike any other district headquarters, you will not believe with 40 acres of amenities, we are announcing at just 3,000 rupees square feet a launch. That's the plot price, let me specify. Well, again, yet breaking that barrier of what the top builders commonly do, they have a tag price on the villa, so many crores, yeah? But the customer is least bothered to know what he has spent on the plot and what he has spent on the constructions. So there we are again giving a clarity, giving a breakup on what the plot price would be and what the constructions would be of his home. So similarly, if it is a large parcel of land, like the project that we are doing in a home away home concept, it's going to be very reasonably priced. Or if you are coming a little near to the city, if it is in 100 acres, then definitely going high rise, it is not going to make much difference on what prevailing luxury market is. With lagoons, again, we are definitely giving at those, Bangalore, for example, not unlike Bombay, we are giving it just that 13,000 rupees a square feet, which is quite common in today's prevailing luxury. So that is how we have segregated, and as the concept change, the project changes, the values changes, and it's your choice to go with what.
Superb. Okay. Now I have the last 5 minutes to go, guys, so I'm going to keep it very crisp. One of the important topics
Govind,
that... Sure.
Can I quickly wrap on the technicalities as everybody now presently in the scuba dive of the lagoons?
I was coming to that.
Before taking away, I could see the stopwatch ticking so
I will be coming to that, don't worry about that. So my question largely now is coming from data point of view and the sustainability point of view. Sustainability point of view is what I'm going to be discussing with Mr. Minhaj. But before that, data is where I wanted to talk about. Meet, Mudra, Bhavik, once again, I'm going to put you in one funnel to begin with. You are doing multiple projects for consultancy. Oberoi has got multiple projects all across MMR. And you have a whole landscape around MMR as well. How do you manage your data? Are you even putting some effort? How do a brand, real estate brand, make sure that the data that we're profiling, largely what we call as a CDP, which is customer data platforms, are you guys working on this particular ecosystems to make sure that the data that comes from one funnel could actually percolate as a spillover to the other? Because getting that data to your site or the lead to your site, an intent buyer, definitely is a task. And now you see that, okay, this particular building project, they're not fitting in. But the second one is where maybe I can. Do you guys manage this? And if you guys get a customers like that, how do you go about approaching them? So meet Bhavik, whoever that wants to talk about it on the first. And little crisp we may have to get, I guess. So, yeah.
So 2-3 things. One is cross-selling, one is upselling. So a consumer who came today, lead was there.
How do you know? How do you know? Means, you know, it's a sales guy who's talking to one guy, and you may not have an information. The owners may not have an information. How do you manage it?
No, because at every touch point, the information is collected. So when the customer comes, the GRE will get a form through an iPad and make sure that all the details have been filled, where he's saying my requirement of typology is 3, my budget is say 3 crores. If he has come for a 3 crore and he has come in a project where the typology is only 1 and 2, and probably 2 crores the max thing, then immediately in the system, it will be recorded that it is a cross-sell, which can go, because we have another project which is 3 and is exactly as per his requirement, carpet area and all. So once that happens, the lead gets into the system. The central cluster head then diverts the lead to the respective project team. They connect to the client and then do the deals.
Do you have an automation play here, or you do it manually?
No, we have an automation place here. What we are now working is, we are working on the second SFDC cloud computing. So what it will do, it will bring all the data collected point from all different platforms, and it will be under one reservoir. What it will do, it will give you predictive analysis of the way. For example, what we are working, something exciting that we saw from Salesforce, is that they will start predicting that, you know, Govind is a profile who will buy a house after 5 years. Currently he is staying in this location. You should upgrade him and ask him for this particular thing.
Sure.
So that kind of AI generative intelligence is what this system will give. Second, it also helps us to give in a system to say that 7 years before, Govind has bought 2 BHK. Right time for him to upgrade. So those kind of intelligence, when it is under one roof, CRM, your sales, your pre-sales and your digital team can see, they can do the analysis, dice the data and use it in their respective areas to be more sharper, more prudent and more effective.
Super, that's a great insight. Bhavik, Meet, are you guys up to the same? Because you guys are coming in Thane, you have a Kolshet coming in, and then on the top of the funnel, there will be Pokhran coming in. I see a lot much spillover, right? So how are you planning to take care of all the customers?
Yes, I completely agree with Bhavik here. If you have not been collecting data till now and been segregating it in the right format, I think you've missed out on a lot. Data is oil, rightly said. But it is very important to understand how you look at data. Because there are a lot of touch points of a customer and there are a lot of data points that are being collected at each of those touch points. It is very important for a marketer with enablement of AI to really understand on how you should be looking at data, because data can also a lot of times be very misleading. So, so that becomes one part of the spectrum in terms of understanding insights and collecting the right set of insights. And second is actionables. So with that data, do you have the right set of tools, or do you have the right set of ancillaries available to take action? Now, whether that action can be as simple as a birthday email that you mentioned, or a cross-sell that we talked about, or it can also be something like creating opportunities of referrals. Now, if there's a person who you see has bought multiple flats with us, is a person where if you take an NPS score of that person, the net promoter score of that person, it will be high. So his likeliness to recommend you will be higher. So utilizing, it's not just collecting data and storing data in a CDP, but also utilizing it well.
Absolutely, and that's a must. I believe as a real estate fraternity, we have been putting a very less attention to this part. Mudra, anything to add on this one?
So I think CRMs with lead scoring will help. A lot of CRMs are there with lead scoring, which will help understanding what part of the data, what part of the buying process the customer is. And you can segregate that data for cross-selling, for upselling. So I think lead scoring platforms are going to be very, very important. So I'd like to just throw upon that.
So any technology companies here in the room, they can get a pointer that what is the need of the hour, and if you're not building it, get on building it. Mohammed, Minhaj, I'm going to come to you. The sustainability part that I wanted to actually ask you. You're making lagoons. They're going to be, I know that because I saw the presentation in NetCon that you're working upon the water recycling. So the sustainability part is taken care of. But what about my maintenance, right? Why am I going to pay so much for something that you're adding to your anchor?
Yeah, Govind, these are some very important factors that almost runs in everybody's mind. First, you see the lagoons posters. You say, wow, it's so lovely. The immediate next minutes, the doubts arise, like, what about the technicalities? How is the maintenance? What's the purification systems? So on those notes, we are the best in the business. As Crystal Lagoons, it's a brand in over 60 countries, as I said earlier, and over 2,500 patents registered in over 190 countries. That makes itself a brand within itself, to conclude. So, counting on technicalities, for example, rather than the traditional swimming pool cleaning methods, we have a special oxygen infusion technology. Like a stagnant water gets polluted because lack of oxygen, it's the main reason. So giving that continuous infusion of oxygen keeps this as pure as possible. That is one of the part of cleaning methods, apart car room filtration systems. Then if you count on the retaining walls of this large water body, there are electromagnetic plates installed, which has slow vibrations, which doesn't allow the algae to form that sooner. And no insects, snakes, and reptiles come near this, and yet very safe for humans. These are the two patents that I counted on. Like this, there are around 2,500 patents. So imagine improvising since 2 decades, the places where the water bodies were large and were tough to maintain. That is where Crystal Lagoons have turned out to be the game changer. And coming back to the technicalities again, the manual cleaning methods, like how nowadays we have robots cleaning manual methods. So the cleaner, all he needs to do is just play with the joystick to clean the pool. So made work so easy. And 24/7 telemetric operation from the head office. The complete crew of Crystal Lagoons will be here for 2 years till our people are fully equipped with the technicalities and the maintenance part. So all these things makes a brand, and that is how this has made a remarkable change in the real estate market, whether it may be residential, commercial, any kind of real estate business, and public access as well.
Sure.
We see water parks today, but water is not that clean. Many people don't tend to go because of it's dirty, isn't it? So now, stay tuned. We are up with this. India is getting his new phase. A revolution to the real estate begins.
Super, wishing you super luck. And that's where I come to the last question, and that is to Harsh. Why I asked sustainability? You may be wondering what this panel is to do with sustainability. The element is, there's a series of communication I did in Bangalore market, where I learned that certain brands, Total Environment, Brigade, they all are going and talking and trying to create a differentiation. And there's a lot many PropTech startups that I interacted with. They're talking that, okay, what if we talk about something called a green fee, which a developer would be able to add at the top of to this, because sustainability adds to the cost. In the marketing landscape, they believe this could be a positioning that can be created where customers will be made aware that if they invest into a sustainable home, their initial cost may be higher, but at a later stage on the maintenance and all, they're going to be saving a lot of money. Do you believe And specifically now, this play is going to be very easy, maybe possible, to the luxury play for sure. Because when you're making luxury homes, the sustainability criteria would add to your premium. You will be able to talk about it. Do you see your brand and customers of yours tomorrow coming to you or paying that extra buck easily because they are getting towards to the right side of the environment because the home that they are choosing is sustainable side, carbon neutral?
So for me, honestly, it's very, very biased in that manner. We are very, very passionate about sustainability at our company. Even within jewelry, we got into lab-grown diamonds much before anyone else could. In real estate, currently what we're doing, all our buildings are anyway green, right? So we don't charge our clients anything extra. I believe the luxury client...
You're already charging a good premium.
So everything is built in basically, right? So the green buildings, we do tell them in marketing, but it's something that we don't emphasize on. Even the future projects we are doing, we tell them that they're all green buildings. That's the mandate within the company. But I believe more people should actually look into it, who are not doing sustainable development should get into it. They might be able to charge a higher fee from clients if they do. Because the younger clients, everyone, I think, anyone above the age of 21, 22 is definitely looking at sustainable. It'll definitely be a question. I see older clients asking me about solar panels and asking me about EV charging and things like that. So I'm sure awareness is increasing.
Thanks a ton. And usually by this time, I get a nudge from the anchor to go that Govind, don't extend your timeline. So I'm waiting for her to come and say it to me. But if you have not spoken, I can ask one question. Okay, so that will be quickly to me to you, to all the people here.
Govind, the nudge didn't come because you so perfectly managed time today. So
yeah,
I gave you
I got
that
inspired
leeway.
by the whole event today. So, Meet, last question to you. A lot of people want to know, quickly, Bhavik, on your digital platforms today, or the luxury largely, let's say, which platform is working for you the most? Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, if I have to name a brand, in terms of largely the performance marketing, if I have to say, you can use from the branding side as well. Which will be your chosen platform? Quickly.
So I think it's the right media mix. Google obviously continues Google search, and Bing as well is coming up quite well from a pull-based high-intent lead standpoint. But I have seen any of these search engines work well when you have a well-rounded campaign around awareness. Once people know about a product, once people know what the product stands for, is when they will search for it.
Bhavik, your?
I think I have a slightly different
Love
view.
to listen to that.
So, Sobo consumer, basically, if you see a lot of developers in Sobo, none of them advertise. In fact, there are case studies where super luxury and luxury projects should not be known to everyone. The more exclusive it is, the more limited it is known to people, they would love to. In fact, few of the ultra HNI's customers, where our joint project was there, some of the customers don't want other customers to know that they have bought, right? And there are some brands who have showcased, the names of the customers who have done. So I think in digital for super luxury, I think it's on the awareness side from a brand perspective, very limited to a niche crowd. I think in super luxury still today, the channel partner vertical works significantly well. The reason is simple, this guy knows everything at his beck and call. He has wealth managers, he has relationship managers, and he has broker. He is not buying first time, he is neither buying second time, right? So he is aware about the whole cycle and process. What he does is that he goes through a channel, ask him to align, so that there is a conversation between him and the owner, rather than going through the channel of sales manager to site head and that. And these people normally are extremely clear what they want, and they don't sit to you on a conversation table with RM to discuss discounts. So digital will be more awareness, very limited. Offline, not even mass media, but predominantly one-on-one.
Got it. And what about you, Mudra, on luxury product? Which is a chosen platform?
So I agree with Bhavin on this. Like I started with the conversation saying every human interaction is very, very important for every customer. May it be meeting the first time or may it be concluding the sale. But human interaction is something that helps all the time. It's the touch, the human touch, the warmth that I started talking about at the start. So I think that's what I feel, that a human touch is important in every luxury product. Other than that, influencing with a 360-degree campaign also helps, but it also depends on what kind of product you're selling.
Thanks a ton, everybody. I have got so much to talk to you guys. I'm going to take it backstage. Now I'm going to ask the anchor to take over. And I hope that it was as fulfilling and enriching a session for you as it was for me. And thanks a ton all the fellow panelists for solve so many queries of mine and answer them so candidly. Thanks a ton. And thanks a lot for you for allowing me to ask one more question.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm, warm round of applause for all our esteemed panelists. And whilst as our panels on stage, may I request Aryan and Arjun Kandhari, the directors of B. Kandhari Properties, to kindly join us and help us in the felicitation of our speakers. So could we have both our gentlemen to join us? Ladies and gentlemen, since we have two of them, let's give them a double round of applause. And with that, as the handshakes continue, may we request Arjun and Aryan to step this side and start with Mudra. Mudra, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. And we would have to request you to step in the center. So maybe both of you, one could be on the left and right. All right, both on the right. Okay. Thank you, Mudra, for joining us. All right. Thank you so much, Mohammed, Minhaj. Thank you for your valuable time and insights. Thank you, Meet. Meet Merchant, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your key insights. Thank you, Harsh. Thank you for your valuable time today and your knowledge. Thank you so much, Bhavik. Thank you for joining us today at the conclave and contributing to the topic. And a big thank you to Govind. Govind, we're going to be squeezing you in for a moment for felicitation. Thank you for curating it so wonderfully. And with that, if I could have the entire panel all together in the front, along with Arjun and Aryan. If you could have the entire panel forward for a group photograph. I know the conversations will continue, but we're just requesting the entire panel to come together. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a warm, warm round of applause for all our key leaders on the stage at the 15th edition of the Realty Plus Conclave West 2023.